This is the Masterbuilt MB 2004-021 Gravity Series 800 Digital Charcoal Grill and Smoker Combo, and I've been cooking on it long enough to know exactly where it shines and where it can test your patience. I moved to it after years on kettles and a pellet rig because I wanted that fuller charcoal and wood flavor without fussing with vents all day. The pitch here is simple. Load real charcoal in a vertical hopper, set a temperature on a digital controller, and let a small fan manage the fire like a thermostat. From my experience, that promise holds up more often than not, and when it does, the food is outstanding. Key features that matter to me start with the gravity-fed hopper and digital fan. The hopper holds a full bag of briquettes, or a big load of lump, and feeds the fire as it burns down. The fan regulates airflow to the coals, which is how the grill hits a set temperature and stays there. If you're new to charcoal, airflow is how you control heat. More air makes the coals burn hotter. Less air cools things down. Having a controller do that part removes the guesswork. The 800 also includes a full-size heavy griddle plate that swaps with the cast iron grates. That's not a throw-in. It's a solid, thick slab that heats evenly and opens up a ton of options. Assembly took me an afternoon with a socket set and patience. I followed the instructions, did the required burn-in at high heat to season the interior, and it was good to go. It's a big unit, about 55 inches wide and just over 200 pounds, so plan a spot and a helper to move it. The shelves are handy, the warming racks fold away, and the grates are beefy cast iron that hold heat well for searing. Lighting it is straightforward. I pull the two shutdown slides, place a fire starter near the bottom grate of the hopper, light it, let the coals catch, close the doors, and set a temp on the controller. It reaches 225 degrees in roughly 8 minutes and blasts up to 700 degrees in around 14 minutes. That speed is a genuine perk when I'm hungry and don't want to babysit a chimney starter. Once it's at temp, the fan settles into a rhythm and the grill holds within a few degrees for long stretches. Low and slow smoking is where I first tested it. I ran a pork shoulder at 250 degrees Fahrenheit for most of a Saturday and sprinkled in a few wood chunks in the hopper to boost the smoke profile. The bark was legit. The smoke ring was there, and the flavor was deeper than what I usually get off a pellet unit. Brisket behaved the same, consistent heat and a clean smoke profile if I stuck with good charcoal and dry wood chunks. For high heat grilling, I've reverse seared ribeyes by smoking at 225 degrees Fahrenheit and then ramping to 650 to 700 degrees here for a crust that snaps. The cast iron grates put on perfect marks, and the crust is the kind you expect from a hot charcoal bed, not a mild pellet fire. The griddle insert surprised me. It's perfect for smash burgers, fajitas, bacon, and a full breakfast. Heat coverage is better than I expected once the plate is fully preheated. If you haven't used a griddle before, it's basically a thick steel plate that stores heat and gives you a flat cooking surface, so you can't drop veggies through the grates, and you get an even sear edge to edge. I season the plate like a skillet, and cleanup is a quick scrape while it's warm. Shutting it down is clever. When I'm done, I power off, slide the two metal plates back into the hopper to block airflow, and the fire dies. That preserves unburned charcoal for next time, which is a big money saver. Now for the part that requires honesty. The materials on the body are not heavy gauge. In my opinion, you need a cover, and you should store it out of constant rain if you can. Without that, rust can creep in, especially around the hopper and the firebox area. I've added a cover, and I'm diligent about brushing out ash and running a hot burn-off every few cooks. Grease management also needs attention. The manifold under the grates can collect drippings, and if you don't use drip pans or keep it clean, you can get a grease flare that ruins dinner and your mood. I learned that once. Now I set pans under pork butts and do a high heat clean when needed. Electronics are the wild card. The Wi-Fi app works, but I've had moments where it disconnects or won't adjust the temp mid-cook unless I started the session from the app. Power cycling the grill usually fixes it, which is not what I want to do with ribs on. I've also been cautious with the power cord and controller. The connection point doesn't inspire confidence, so I avoid yanking the plug or letting the cord hang with tension. The safety switches on the lids do their job, but they're a known stress point. Mine haven't fully failed, but I've had them act finicky after a greasy day. If you keep those areas clean and avoid slamming doors, life is easier. Fuel use is higher than my old kettle or a sealed ceramic cooker. On a 10-hour pork butt, I'll see a big dent in a bag of briquettes. That's the trade for a consistent fan-fed fire and a big cook box with lots of airflow. The food quality keeps me coming back, but it's worth noting if you're tight on fuel budget. From my experience, the 800 cooks beautifully when you respect its quirks. Use quality charcoal and a few wood chunks for smoke. Preheat thoroughly, especially with the griddle. Keep the grease under control with pans and regular cleanouts. Cover it and store it smartly. Be patient with the app or just use the onboard controller and treat the Wi-Fi as a bonus. It's perfect for someone who wants real charcoal flavor with near pellet grill convenience, loves the idea of a built-in flat top, and doesn't mind doing routine maintenance. If you're brand new to charcoal, this actually helps you learn because the controller removes the vent juggling part and lets you focus on food. If you're a veteran, the speed from cold to sear is addictive. I'd recommend this for weekend cooks who want one machine to smoke, grill, and griddle, folks who enjoy tech but can roll with the occasional glitch, and anyone who values flavor over bulletproof appliance-level reliability. If you want absolute simplicity with zero tinkering and you're sensitive to app hiccups, there are more set-and-forget options, but you'll likely give up some of that charcoal punch. In my opinion, Masterbuilt pushed something genuinely useful here. The 800 gives me ribs with deep bark, steaks with a fierce crust, and diner-style smash burgers on the same cooker, and it does it fast. The build and electronics demand care, and the app could be smoother, but the cooking results keep me using it several times a week. In conclusion, the Masterbuilt Gravity Series 800 delivers on flavor, versatility, and speed, as long as you meet it halfway with maintenance and realistic expectations about the tech. If that sounds like you, it's a satisfying buy that can replace multiple cookers in your backyard. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your questions or your own experience with the Gravity Series. Thank you for watching.